welcome to the Ahmad Tea Podcast, part of the Tea Academy on ahmadtea.com. We are going to talk about English breakfast today. I am here with tea taster Dom.
Hello.
And my name's Emma. I am a tea enthusiast. I'm looking forward to finding out more about English breakfast tea today.
Excellent. Good.
Wonderful. So we've got some here with us, Dom.
Yes, we have. We've got one brewing here. Would you like to start off by having a cup?
I will always be up for having a cup of tea.
So
yes,
I think
please.
this has been actually brewing for about just over 5 minutes now, so it should be ready.
It is ready
So
to
if
go.
you pass me your cup round, I'll just pour you some. It's looking good.
Oh, it's a lovely rich colour.
Yeah. And do you have milk with your tea or not?
I do normally with an English.
So
is that
do I.
good?
So well, it depends on the tea, obviously, but with this
Exactly.
tea, I would have milk, so I'm going to have a dash. Good, that's brought out the lovely sort of golden colour, hasn't it?
It has.
All right.
So
We haven't got a spoon. We're going to have to
we're going
just...
to have to do just a little
Shake
shimmy,
it.
a little shimmy shake.
Mine's mixed a lot better than yours, but yeah, good. So if you have a try.
Try. I'm glad I waited till now to have a cup of tea. This is great. This is exactly what we're after. So, an English breakfast tea.
Mm-hmm.
What's in there? What tea? What is? Can we unravel the mystery?
We can try. I mean, so English breakfast, I mean, there's no real set definition of what it is. And we see English breakfasts from actually all over the world, and they can vary wildly. I mean, some have got even bergamot in them.
No.
So we've seen breakfast with Darjeeling in, all sorts of... So, you know, it's really dependent on the company's specific blend.
Yes.
I mean, there's a typical sort of English breakfast, which would traditionally be Assam, Ceylon and Kenya. And normally it should be a sort of a strong cup of tea that you would have at breakfast, surprisingly.
Yes. So, Dom, could you talk me through which teas are in the blend of the English breakfast tea? I can see we've got 3 samples that you
Yes,
brought
we
along
have.
today.
So these aren't all the teas that are in the blend, but I've got a sample here of the actual blend. Mm-hmm. And then these are 2 of the main components. So, as I said, the star really of our English breakfast is Assam. So these are seasonal North Indian teas. And here we've got an orthodox GFBOP, golden flowery broken orange pekoe. And you can see it's a sort of a medium broken tea with lots of golden tips. So that shows fine plucking because it's the buds that turn this golden colour after the tea's manufactured. So this is the orthodox process where the leaves are rolled.
Yes.
And that gives this nice twisted leaf appearance, and you can get a larger leaf, a whole leaf grade, down to the brokens, the fannings and dusts. You get a whole range of standards.
Okay.
And this is again still from Assam, North India, but this is the other major style of manufacture, which is CTC, cut, tear, curl. And this is where the teas run through sort of rollers with cutters on it, and it cuts it up into very small pieces. So this is actually the largest leaf you'll get really from CTC, but it's designed to make more smaller leaves, so fannings and dust for tea bags. Mm-hmm. So it's a totally different process, basically. And CTC would generally tend to be a bit sort of stronger, guttier, whereas Orthodox tends to ideally keep more of the volatile flavour compounds in, and so it will have or can have a little bit more flavour if it's done correctly.
Okay. So the golden is coming from the name of these golden specks we've got in this loose leaf here.
Yeah, yeah.
And is that also, this one over here is more uniform in colour?
Yeah.
It's sort of like some light browns and dark browns. But is that everything that's in this sample that's been sort of compacted
Yeah,
together?
because it would get sort of compacted and embedded in there, so you can't tell about so well. But what you can tell is if you would see there was a lot of sort of brownish leaf in here,
Yes.
then you would see that was the stalk and fibre, and that would be sort of again impacted in here.
Oh.
So you can still tell to some extent how well it's been plucked from the appearance. So those are the teas, the main components, the Assam, particularly the orthodox in our loose, which will give it that nice rich malty character. And then the other main teas we use are a Kenyan, again a CTC like this, and that gives the the freshness. It helps lift the cup a little bit because Kenyan tea is on the equator and can be produced all year round. Mm-hmm. And then we'll also use a Ceylon, again, orthodox tea, and that gives a real sharp, brisk character to give the blend a bit more punch.
Lovely. And everything you've just mentioned there is in this central
it's all mixed together.
So I can see there we've got the nice.
So you can see, if you look,
and the more rolled that you would get,
and you can see a few bits of the CTC mixed in here as well.
Oh, that's delightful.
So that's when we're assessing tea quality. The first thing you look at is the leaf appearance, because you can actually tell quite a lot. It's not foolproof, obviously, but it's a good indicator of the quality from looking at the leaf.
What kind of flavours can we expect from this blend of 3 teas?
So the Assam is the main component, and we use this Orthodox and Assam CTC. And what you're looking for, the real traditional Assam character, is this rich malty character. Yes. And it's enhanced really by the addition of milk, because the sort of creaminess of the milk brings out that malty character. So hopefully you're getting that sort of rich. Malt is always a hard sort of character to describe, I think, because I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You say malt, I can taste it, but I couldn't. Yeah, it's hard to articulate.
So I always think of Horlicks, but then that's quite a niche reference, I think.
I know.
So.
I know exactly what you mean with the Horlicks. Yeah.
So that's the sort of the star of the show, the seasonal quality Assam. But we do also use the other sort of famous teas I mentioned in there as well. Yeah. So we use a CTC tea again from Kenya, so this kind of leaf. And Kenya's on the equator, so it produces tea all year round. So that's good because it can always give a bit of freshness to the blend. And then we use the Ceylon, which is from Sri Lanka, and that's got a very strong, brisk, sort of gutty, so that gives a little bit of sort of sharpness to the blend as well.
I'm with you. Okay. Which, when you think about an English breakfast tea and when you want to drink an English breakfast tea, I think most people tend to be looking for something quite punchy.
Yeah.
Something to wake you up a little bit in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to hear about the milk complementing it, and it not being this tea crutch. It's actually a good, strong component of it.
With this blend, definitely.
With this, Let's not get too crazy.
No.
How can someone at home make the perfect cup of English breakfast tea?
So obviously you use good tea. That's the most
good tea, yes.
the most important starting point. And then I've brewed, this is the loose blend, so we've got this nice special teapot with an infuser in here, which just makes life a bit easier. But really the key is to give it enough time to brew. That's the first thing. So as I said, this has been brewing for over 5 minutes. Yeah. And then the other really important thing is to use, if you can, at least filtered water. So you're removing any, things like chlorine that you might have in the water. We've used our special water we brought down from our tasting room as well, which is also slightly softened. So that also, it makes it a little bit sweeter. But actually, if you use water that's too soft, it will come out quite neutral and sweet. So a little bit of hardness actually is, depending on what you want, is quite good to bring the flavour out as well.
That's fascinating. Where I live, the water is notoriously hard. You can't, it's a nightmare actually. So this is quite interesting. It's good for sweeter tea if you live in Wales, is what you're saying.
Sweeter, but you might not get as much sort of punchy character coming through, basically.
And the loose, here we go. It is time for the debates. The loose leaf versus the tea bag within English breakfast tea. Yeah. Is it going to make a big difference?
So this is really what I was saying about the CTC. So it's a different manufacturer.
Yeah.
It's not the sort of leftovers from the Orthodox. So that's not the main thing that affects the quality, whether it's a tea bag or a CTC. It's how well that garden is run, how well the factory is run, obviously the growing conditions, the weather, the region it's in, the time of year. That's all much more important in terms of quality rather than if it's a loose leaf or a tea bag tea. So it's really about the selection of the tea that will make it a good cup of tea. So you can get a very good tea bag or you can get a very poor tea bag.
Yes.
Basically.
So either's fine. So if you're in a rush in the morning and you're grabbing a tea bag, there's no shame there.
No, there's no shame. I mean, the loose tea, you can let it brew longer and it can. So if you got the time, I was just slightly say loose can ultimately give you the best cup, but a good tea bag will give you a better cup than a poor loose tea, basically.
Okay, that's really good to know. Thank you, Dom. Is there a magic secret on how to blend the perfect? So you said all over the world there's different ways of blending the English breakfast tea. Obviously here there is a specific way that Ahmad Tea will blend an English breakfast tea. Is there a secret as to what makes it so good?
I don't think the secret is so much in the blending. I mean, obviously you have to choose the right teas that will blend and complement each other, but really the secret's actually in the selection of the teas, that the buying at the right time of year from the right gardens, and the quality control throughout the whole process, and to actually deliver that cup to the final consumer is more the secret.
Lovely. Thank you, Dom, for a very wonderful cup of English breakfast tea and for sharing your knowledge with us today. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening in to our tea podcast here at Ahmad Tea, all about English breakfast tea. If you'd like some more content like this, head on over to ahmadtea.com and check out that Tea Academy, where you'll find some more podcast episodes and lots of information.